Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday. The keyword is Thursday to begin this video. It is not Friday. All of what I'm about to read is still technically conjecture. That doesn't mean it's going to be true, and that doesn't mean it's going to be false. That just means we have to wait. I follow at MCOC_player920 on Twitter /X, and he follows me back. Good dude. And he is somebody who prides himself on being a leaker of information. And most recently on October 21st, he claimed that Kabam was preparing 7-star class-based crystals, which is kind of hard to believe because the basic pools are so small that it's tough to imagine when you think about the odds of landing, say, a 7-star Atuma, that if you do the math, because class-based crystals usually wait until there are at least, 15, 20 champions in it, but it could be as much as like a 20 to 30% drop rate for a champion if you do the math. His post said you can see 7-star Symbiote Supreme, which is not yet in the crystals. You can get one of these crystals in the 7-star Selector Crystal, and that gives you, like, the banner he used had only 3 champs per crystal. Now, that doesn't mean there's only 3 champs in the crystal. Let's say there's 5. That's still a 20% drop rate for a champion. So we'll see if that's true. Again, it's just speculation. But the biggest news of them all, as we look at our titles in the game, is that the next rare progression blue title, he claims to be called Valiant. Not Variant, but Valiant. And he said a 24-hour crystal will contain base and class catalyst fragments of category 6, as well as 6 to 7-star shards. The 4-hour crystal has not changed anything. The revive potion is also 1 to 2 levels, and a health potion is 4 to 5 levels. Now, this is just speculation. I know on his channel, he is posting it as what I presume to be his believed fact, and maybe it will be. But I think the bottom line is, regardless of what the daily crystals look like or the 4-hour crystals look like, nothing matters to people until you give us the details on what it will take to get to that title. Now, I think the smart thing to do would be 1 rank 3 7-star. Give everybody who wants to be that next progression motivation to at least do one path of the new Necropolis event in November. But, and there's a big B word, there are people out there, because I went through the comments on the video I posted before bed last night, that believe that's way too reasonable of an expectation, and that it's going to take as many as what we saw to become Thronebreaker, because Kabam wants the progression title to basically be something that people have to really work and spend money toward, that it could be as many as 3 rank 3 7-stars, a feat that would require you to not only do 100% exploration Necropolis, but also purchase, I'm sure, hundreds if not thousands of dollars, and that's American dollars, worth of Cyber Week sales. If Kabam was to do that, I think we know that this game, and even in some ways community, has declined enough in 2023 that they're trying to make up for lost revenue. It always amazes me because typically in like a non-pandemic era of humanity, for-profit companies like to show growth, and growth means the next year always outperforms the past year of revenue. I can't imagine that that's the case right now, especially when you go all the way back to the pandemic years of 2020, 2021, and even some parts of 2022. 2023 is the first year that I think the world got to leave the house collectively, and that is bad news for mobile gaming companies that benefited greatly from people who are isolated and lonely and wanted to play the Marvel Casino of Champions, known as Marvel Contest of Champions. And this is not just an MCOC problem, of course. This is all mobile gaming and gaming platforms, which is why we've seen layoffs at other companies besides Kabam as recent as this week, because between inflation and a reduction of revenue and sales, you just can't sustain a growth model. So we'll learn a lot about this new progression title. I am going to say this. I have been wrong a lot on this channel, but I've also been right a lot. And I've been saying for 3 months that all the tea leaves point to a new progression title coming before Cyber Week. And I got a lot of pushback. And even as recent as last week, I said, look, I guess I was wrong. I'm sorry. It's going to be 2024 because we've heard nothing about it. And then right when I was ready to just keep doing the apology tour, we got an announcement this week that on tomorrow's live stream, we will learn about the new progression title, which drops this month. So it's always funny when the people who tell you you're the worst and then you end up being right end up just like disappearing in the comments until you're wrong again. But you also got to realize that that's part of being a public figure. But there is a difference between like constructive criticism or even like not hateful criticism and people just saying like, yeah, you should just like leave the earth. So I appreciate most of the comments that give my perspective alternative views or even some pushback, but the ones that are the harshest, they're never going to come back and say, hey, good job. They're just going to kind of do what they want to do. So we'll see if this is true. We'll know very shortly if the leak is accurate or not. But I appreciate that at MCOC_player920 continues to put out information for the community because I still think he's a great resource, even if Kabam is actively threatening anyone who leaks information with whatever they can get away with in the game. These players are calling their bluff. Their social media accounts are not backing down. And so far, us content creators are able to report on the news, which sometimes can be true, sometimes cannot be. That's why it's important to say that this is still speculation, but we'll know very shortly how accurate it is. And I think that's a really important thing to think about, because sometimes we'll say, hey, look, we got some leaks for July 4th sales in May, and it'll take 2 months to figure out if they're accurate or not. Now we're talking about like less than 24 hours from the time this video posts on my channel. So that's a pretty good turnaround time to know what's true and what's not. So I'm looking forward to the live stream. I invite everybody who can make it to check it out. I'll be doing videos, of course, as soon as the news hits on a wrap-up. So those of you who can't make it, I can still deliver that information to you. We'll know very soon. In the meantime, have a good day. Thanks for watching.